Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do the bottom seam. So I'm looking at my bag face up. Here's my straps that I sewn on. And I'm going to take the other side and I'm going to put them right sides together. And your straps should line up, but if they don't, it's just because you didn't put them on your marking, or you didn't do your marking exactly in the same spot. It's not a huge deal. Mostly what you want to make sure is that you have the edges lined up. So if your straps don't line up, that's not a horrible thing. So I'm going to go ahead and pin this together, and then I'm going to sew it on 5/8, and then I'm going to show you how to do the zigzag edge. All right, so I'm ready to do my seam finish on this seam allowance, and I just want to remind you why we do seam finishes. It's to keep the fabric from fraying, because you can see how it's already fraying. So you want to do your zigzag or serging right on the edge, because the fabric will fray until it hits stitching. So that's why we do the seam finish. So the closer you can do it to the edge, the better, because if you do it really far away from the edge, the fabric will fray until it hits that stitching. So you want to have the inside edge of your presser foot along your fabric so that you're doing the zigzag right on the edge. If you're doing serging, you want it right on the edge. Okay, if you do your zigzag far away, like over here, then it's going to fray until it hits that zigzag. So make sure that you do it close enough to the edge, or right on the edge is what the preferred way is, so that it is keeping it from fraying. Okay, so that your seam finish is doing its job. Okay, so okay, so just make sure you do it on the edge so that it's going to keep it from fraying. Okay, so here's where I sewed the ends together. I did my zigzag. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do the corners. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you unzip your zipper just a little. It doesn't have to be very far, but just a little bit, so that you'll be able to get your bag turned right side out, because if you have your zipper closed, you won't be able to turn your bag right. You can eventually, but it's kind of hard. Okay, so what you want to do is take the seam that you just sewed, the end seam, and you're going to line it up with the center of your zipper and the pull tab, and we're going to pin this together. Oops. We're going to get all these edges even. And we're going to pin all the way across. And then I'm going to show you how to sew this, because a lot of times students don't realize that they need to go all the way to the edge, all the way to the fold. So I'm going to show you how to sew it. And then we'll do our seam finish again. So if you're doing a serge, then you'll serge it. If you're doing zigzag, then you'll do zigzag. Okay, so I get this even. Now, one problem I've noticed with this project is you see how those aren't lining up. So what you want to do before you sew this together is get it folded. Sorry, I'm having trouble getting this pulled. Okay. So what you want to do is then take a pair of scissors or shears, and we're going to cut this off so that it's even. I don't know why that happens. I've noticed it's happened on every one of these I've made. It's happened. So I'm not really sure why it does that. Okay, so now we can go ahead and get our edges even and pin it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and sew this on 5/8, and then we'll do our zigzag. So see where I'm starting right on the edge, right on the edge of the fold. Whoops, forgot to change it back to straight stitch. Okay. Oh, why is it still doing zigzag? Hold on. My machine didn't switch. Okay, there we go. All right, so now it's going to be on straight stitch. We're going to go on 5/8, all the way across. When you get to the pull tab zipper area, just go kind of slow because it's pretty thick. So just go kind of slow, and if you go too fast, then your machine usually will jam. Okay, so we're going to go slow over that area, and then we go all the way to the other edge. So make sure you sew all the way to that fold. Don't stop short. Okay, so we're going to go all the way. And then we'll go ahead and do our seam finish, but I'm going to show you how to do the other corner without the zipper. Okay, so this is the other corner, and all you have to do is match up your two seams, and you want to put your seam allowances opposite. So see how this seam allowance is going this way and this one's going this way? So you want to put them opposite so they're not right on top of each other, just because it's kind of thick. Okay, so we'll get our edges all matched up again. If you need to trim like we did on that other end, you can. Usually you only have to do that on the zipper end. You don't usually have to do that on these other ends without the zipper. Okay, so then we'll sew the rest of them, all three, and then we'll do our serging or zigzag on the edge, and then you're done. You turn it right side out and you're all done.